Last week we met in Albany with the Capital District group of individuals and programs which work to end homelessness in this region and across the state. And one of the groups we obviously were talking about are our veterans. And we talked about disabilities and what they're facing and trying to get back into the mainstream. We talked about emotional stress. We talked about the mental stress, disabilities. We talked about the physical, but we also talked about the financial and the inability to maybe get into the workforce, to get that training that's necessary, and to get that most important thing that's a part of our American dream, and that's a job and an opportunity to have a job. And we know that as much as we can possibly do, we can't do enough to thank our veterans, but we can do more. And this program, I think, does more. And if government in the state of New York can't lead, or the federal government can't lead, who can lead? And this is a part of leading in some way to develop this program. And it's called Give Back New York, and it means giving legislative internships to disabled veterans who are not fully employed. We have a tremendous internship program, and we love those college kids. As I mentioned inside, many of them have been hired by myself over the years and my colleagues over the years because they do a tremendous job. But if there's another group that more importantly should see the inside workings of our representative democracy, it's the men and women of our armed forces who not only put their lives on the line so we could have this representative democracy, this republic, this form of government, but are living with lifelong disabilities because of that activity. And they should be on the inside and have the opportunity just as our college students have. And what this program would do would provide a 10% set aside for disabled veterans to have one of those internship programs and work with one of my colleagues or myself in the New York State Legislature in both the Senate and the Assembly. Last year, 2013, we had 180 college kids in the program. This year we had 120 college kids in the program. So it's $1 million program, a little over $950,000, I believe. It wouldn't cost any more money, because obviously we have enough for 180 students, we have enough for 120 students, depending upon the year, and this would be a 10% set aside for those individuals who have given so much, put their lives on the line so we could have this representative form of government. And there's 3 reasons why I think this will be a good thing. First of all, the last thing I mentioned, allowing them to be inside their state government, to see how it works, to see what they've been fighting and working for. But secondarily, I think it'll have a profound positive impact on those college kids to see what patriotism is in real life, to see what the work ethic is all about, to see what integrity, honesty, and I think discipline is all about. And I think it would be great for the kids, it would be great for the veterans, and I think it would be great for us as elected officials. And lastly and thirdly, this is something our veterans, in this case those who are disabled in some sense, who probably have the most difficult problem in terms of getting training or something to put on their resume, would have that opportunity to put that on their resume. And the stipend isn't bad either. $15,000 we're putting, that's the graduate level for our college kids, and we would provide that in this particular piece of legislation. And if we can't give 10% of our internships to veterans who are deserving and capable, I don't know what our state government can do.
Today, in the modern era, there are veterans out there from all generations that have something to offer, and there shouldn't be any opportunity where a veteran isn't seriously considered and moved right to the front of the pack for obvious reasons. And I think if the state is pushing a program like this forward, they're walking the walk and setting an example for everyone to follow in support and providing opportunities for our veterans. And I thank Assemblyman Tedisco for inviting us here today, and we are grateful for his pursuit of this great program.
Homeless veteran should never, those two words should never be used in the same sentence. Unfortunately, in the Capital District, we have a severe case of homeless veterans. The majority of our veterans become homeless because of the inability of them to transfer the skills they used in the military into civilian life. And I hope that this is a footpath that Assemblyman Tedisco is creating to inspire businesses and college and hospitals to make it a priority to hire our vets.